Hi everyone, it's Rachel and today I'm doing an updated no mold cupcake based tutorial. The last one I made is quite old now and I feel like I can do a better one, so I thought I'd share it with you. I'm basing this cupcake base off the 14mm mold I and a lot of other crafters use to make our cupcakes. Here's a cupcake made using the mold. This is the cupcake I made in my older tutorial, and then this is the new one I'll be showing you how to create today. As you can see, there's quite a big difference between the old and the new version, and the new one definitely looks a lot more similar to the one made with a mold. Starting off, choose the colour you would like to use for your particular cupcake base. For the one in this tutorial, I'm going to be using purple. The first thing you want to do is begin shaping it into a pot plant kind of shape, and I did this by placing my clay onto my work surface and forming the sides with my fingers to make sure one end is slightly more narrow than the other. You then want to make sure both ends, top and bottom, are nice and flat, and you can do this by pressing the clay onto your work surface. You'll also need it to be slightly taller than you want it in the end because we'll be trimming off some of the clay later on. So just keep working on the shape until you're happy with it. It's now time to add the indents, so I'm using a needle tool to do this. You could also use a sewing pin or any other thin kind of tool you have. So for this cupcake base, I've found that 20 indents can work really well. Firstly, we're going to split our base into quarters, so make 4 opposite lines, and then add 4 indents between each of those first ones we made. You want to make sure you work really gently for this part, and if you pick up or move your cupcake, try not to hold it too hard as it will lose its detail. Once I had gone all the way around, I gently removed it from my work surface and set it on a piece of paper to take to the freezer. This may sound really weird, but it's a very important step to making a neat looking cupcake base. So place your clay into your freezer and leave it for around 3 to 5 minutes, although you can leave it longer if you like.
A few moments later.
Once mine had been in the freezer for a while, I took it out and went back to my craft area. You'll need to work fairly quickly for this step because the clay defrosts quickly. Take a blade and then cut off the very tip of the thicker end where it will join onto the cake part. That's why it's best to freeze the clay first before cutting it, as it will be nice and firm and won't deform as you cut it. If you want to fix it at all, again, just work gently. Now put the base aside while we work on the cake part. So I'm using the colour called Vanilla by Fimo and shaping this into a dome. To add some texture, I'm using a toothbrush and tapping it all over the clay to create the detail. I'm now shading the clay using a brush and my mixture of chalk pastel shavings. I do have a separate video on this which covers everything in more detail, so I'll leave a link down in the description box if you're interested. Now take both your base and cake part of your cupcake and join them together. If you want to make sure they're extra secure, you can add some liquid clay onto it before positioning them together, but of course this is optional. Now you can add some extra detail like I did. I added a face and some toppings, or you can leave it as you like and bake according to your package's instructions. So that is everything for this tutorial, and this is what my cupcake looks like after baking. I definitely think it's an improvement from my last cupcake based tutorial I made a few years ago, and I think the main difference that makes it look more like the molded version is the sharp edge that we made by cutting the base, because it looks much more connected to the cake part. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!